After that, we'd go over somebody's house, and there's black kids, white kids, Asians, Hispanics, and we just all just hang out and just hang out together.
I'm used to a diverse culture. I growing up in Brooklyn, you at times there's stores that there's Russian lettering or Spanish lettering where the workers and the actual menu for food and items you're gonna buy, there's no English at all. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it actually exposes you to a different culture.
Just going to the neighborhood gym, it's heavily Russian, and most of the people there are not originally from America, I presume. And I know for a fact that just to be able to get a job there, you have to know how to speak Russian, and for someone that's grown up in Brooklyn all their life, that could be a little frustrating, knowing that if I was ever to go for a job there, I'd have to know how to speak Russian. This is where I grew up, and it's sad to have to know that I'd have to learn a different language just to get a job at a local establishment in my neighborhood.
When I was in the CSL program, they were all speaking the Russian language throughout. I didn't know what was going on. My parents were being called. And then me, as an idiot, I didn't say anything to my mom, so my mom was even wondering why I was doing so bad. So they called her in, and they're like, there's something seriously wrong with your son. I don't think he's learning properly. He doesn't talk. There might be something wrong. Let's take him to counseling or whatever, a doctor. And the end is because I didn't speak Russian. They thought I did. I didn't speak, like I said, a lick of Russian besides the few bad words I can't say on camera or to almost anyone. So basically, that's all I had picked up. I didn't know, and I was too scared to say anything to my teacher. I didn't want to challenge adult figure's opinion. I'm a 6-7-year-old child. I was basically scared. So in the end, it got worked out, and they eventually put me in a regular class. But for a while, I wasted about 4 months of, I think it was kindergarten or first grade, where I was in this class I didn't belong in. I didn't know what was going on.
When I lived in, at the end of my last few years living in Brooklyn, I lived in the Coney Island section of Brooklyn. I went to Abraham Lincoln High School. It was very diverse, I guess you could say. A lot of black and Hispanic people.
I know I had very close friends that were Filipino and African American and Russian.
You're able to handle different people and actually be able to to correspond with them, and it doesn't freak you out anymore. Nothing, growing up in New York, nothing freaks you out. This is the home of the naked cowboy, where guys walk around in underpants in Times Square, and that's how he makes a living. So nothing shocks me anymore growing up in New York. People just look the other way.